Hello and welcome back to the GorillaBiker, and today, well, we're talking about a couple of different things. Primarily what the plan is for this bike, because you know, I've been talking about selling it for quite a long time now, but every time I bring myself to, I just can't. However, there is something that I might do, and you know, I've never liked the ideas of giveaways. Personally, I don't know, I don't understand them, but not that I don't understand them. I mean, it's a great opportunity for someone to win something for not that much money. But I just think sometimes, like, if you're selling a bike worth 5,000 and you make 50 off it, like, that's great, but I don't know, it just seems like an excessive amount of money. Anyway, so my idea would be, if I was to sell this, I think how I'd really like to do it is, you know, basically do a giveaway, but do the giveaway in so that it's like, you know, I get X amount out of it, which can be agreed up front with everyone who's entering, and then everything I make over that amount goes to charity, or multiple charities. I think that would be really cool. I think that would be a good way to actually convince myself to let go of this bike and let me, you know, move on to something else to try. Because the issue is, like, I really love this bike, but as not my main daily bike, and it never will be my main daily bike, because I just like the likes of Stromboli too much. You know, I like being able to carry a load of luggage and do all that stuff. And you know, now the Valkyrie will be running soon. Who knows where this one falls, right? So this is like my spare fun bike that also doesn't do track duty anymore. And there was another idea that I you know, in my head, that I put it back on a little bit of track duty. You know, invest in some rear sets and really see what this thing can do, which I'm not entirely against that idea. I might still do that. We do have a little highway section up here that I'm not going to talk on, because it's going to suck too much, but just in case you're wondering why I just disappeared. We're on the way to Sticks and Stones Coffee Roasters to meet up with my friend Matt, who has a GSX-8S. GSX-8S. They really should have made that an easier, like Gixxer, perfect. Gixxus, I don't know. It's just hard to say. Anyway, especially when it's like GSX-8S. Actually, that wasn't that hard to say. Maybe I'm just lazy. What are you doing? Not going? Okay, interesting. Very interesting. Anyway, lots of stones here always. But now we can do this. Alright, I'll talk to you when I'm off the highway. More highway. I'm not a fan of highways, but you know, you gotta use them to get places fast sometimes. Whenever you go up north, like New Jersey or any of those areas, everything is a toll. Like, every road is a toll, and yeah, it seems to be starting here, and I don't like it. Roads shouldn't be like, every road you go on that gets you somewhere reasonably fast, it shouldn't be a toll. You know, that's kind of, is that not what taxes are for? You know. And I mean, New Jersey and New York should have plenty of taxes, so I really don't understand them tolling everything. I don't know. I'm not a politician for these reasons. I'd probably have the country gone broke. I'm like, no, that's not a tax. Don't do that. Tolls are just extra taxes, and I don't like them. But yeah, let me know what you think of that idea, because I don't want to just, like, if I give this a bike away, to give people a chance to win it for, like, I don't know, $50 or something like that. You know, I don't want it to be like a look at me profiting massively type of giveaway. Like, if I profit a little bit, especially if I do extra work to it, not even profit, but more so like cover my costs. Because if I was ever going to give this away, like, I'd put a new chain, new sprockets on it, I'd do the valve check. You know, it has pretty fresh oil, it has pretty fresh brake pads and everything else in it, and I would probably see, do people want me to make the suspension less stiff? Like, if I would to set it, you know, I could get more springs from Racetech and set the springs for like 220 pounds or something. That's a pretty average weight human, or like 80 kilos, something like that, you know what I mean? Rather than rather than hit it for where I'm at, because obviously there's a lot less people like me out there? Or should I just sell it for the next project? Because that's you know, entirely what this is like, you know, to get another project bike, because I like having a project, you know. I think a lot of people who work in corporate always have a pretty demanding side hobby, I suppose, you know, in that, you know, like a lot of guys I know do carpentry on the side. Some of them have businesses out of carpentry. I think that's really cool. But there's generally a second thing they do, because the corporate job is really and truly just to pay for the actual hobby, you know, where historically that might have been the job when you could live off a lower wage and the world wasn't quite so messed up. But now, you know what I mean, it's just like, well, I do this job so I can pay for this stuff, because that's more fun. Ooh, steel plate. Don't want to go over that. But that's kind of, I don't know, that's how I look at it anyway. Is it like, is just to kind of keep myself doing something at home, so I don't go insane, because I probably would go insane if I was just doing corporate job all the time and not also a little bit of bikes and whatnot. So, and that's honestly why, like, if I was a smart person, I probably would have packed in YouTube by now. It's not going well, let's be honest. You know, it's not going well, and that's fine. You know what I mean? I can't make people watch my videos. The only videos that seem to do well are review videos. And anytime I reach out to like a dealership near me, they just either ignore me or reply and say no, not interested. You know. Despite the fact that historically the dealers I've worked with will say that it does bring an interest into their business. Maybe it's because they kind of all suck over here. I don't know. Like Freeman's good business, you know. Freeman's are great people, and if I ever move back to Ireland, I'd happily buy a bike from them, you know. But that's certainly something that crosses my mind. Is it like they don't want me showing their bikes because, you know, I would be honest, and maybe they don't look after their bikes so well. I don't know what it is. I'm not a genius. I can't read their minds. Oh my god, people go so slow. You have automatic cars too, like you just put your foot down and it's like a go-kart, you know what I mean? 0 to 60 in 10 years. Anywho, yeah, that's kind of... So, you know, if I wanted to keep the views rolling in, I do reviews, because I love doing reviews, like genuine, I love riding other bikes, but also I don't make enough money from YouTube to go renting a new bike every month or anything. It's something I've definitely thought about, but yeah, I don't know, maybe if I just got to do my project bikes one every couple of months or something, sell them on or raffle them off or something, with, you know, the main part of the profits going to charity. And that's something I'd have to work out to make it like make sense. I'd have to figure out, like, right, if I buy a bike, cover the costs, and then a little bit on top to reinvest into another bike, like what would that look like? Would it be like 120% of fair market value, so I am earning a little bit over the odds, and then all the extra goes to charity or whatever else? I don't know. If I was ever seriously going to do it, I'd have to look at all that hard, and obviously share with everyone who watches this and get agreement from the broader community. But what do you think? Would you rather just see me just sell the bikes privately and move on to the next bike that I want to do, or would you like to, you know, to see something like that where you get an opportunity to possibly win a bike for cheap, but knowing that a lot of the profits go to charity? Let me know, because I would like to do more. Like, you know, I never thought the channel would get this big. Like, I have 13,000 subscribers now, which is insane, and I'm like, what am I doing with it, you know? And that's something that I would like to do, is definitely raise money for charity, because there's a lot of charities that need money, and I would more than happily lend whatever views I do get into helping raise money for you know, ones that are really needing extra funds. But yeah, that's that. Let me know. Then other than that, I mean, maybe, and I haven't decided on any of this. This is just conversation, right? That's what all my videos generally always are, is conversation. And, you know, I'm still not completely given up on the fact this could probably be better on the track, but, you know, is that something that you want me to invest into, is, you know, getting it set up for the track? Because, and again, that would be, I've saved up my YouTube money again for the last, I don't know how many months, but quite a long time, maybe 6 months. And honestly, that's 6 months. This will tell you that's 6 months might buy a rear tire for the SV650, and then 2 new tires for the Valkyrie, which is really good. You know, don't get me wrong. It's a lot of money, but it's never going to support like a lot of mods and stuff as well. You know, that's actually what I tend to try save the YouTube money for now, is tires. That doesn't include the Patreon stuff. The Patreon stuff I do try spend exclusively on parts, just because I think that's the fairest way to do it. But yeah, so that's kind of what would you like to see with this bike? Is, you know, look, either way, I'm going to do chain and sprockets so people can see how to do that. That's been asked a lot. And I'm going to do valve clearance check because, you know, it's due soon anyway. So, you know, why not do a video on that? And is there anything else you'd like to see? You know, I haven't done wheel bearings on this. I might do wheel bearings. I'll probably do like a full fork rebuild as well, because I only just did the spring change. I didn't do a full rebuild. Like, I did a spring change and you know, oil fill, and they're not leaking or anything, so I don't need to, but I will. And other than that, I think I've done most things to this bike. Like, we've done the rear shock out and back in. We've done air filter, spark plugs, tank off, brakes. Yeah, let me know what you would like to see more of on this bike. But then other than that, what's coming up kind of on the bikes, because I know it's been very Valkyrie heavy recently, and it's going to stay Valkyrie heavy until I have it done. But I am riding over to Chattanooga soon to meet up with Hatter. A couple of us are going. Volts, I don't know, do you remember Volts? He was on a video a long time ago. Very good human. He's gonna be coming as well, and Toaster's coming, and yeah, we're meeting up with several people in Chattanooga in Tennessee. So hopefully I'll be able to make a couple of videos on them over there, just around nice pretty roads. We'll probably do a trip video over, or maybe a trip video over and back, and just do the highlights like I did for the Asheville trip recently. Yeah, there's a couple of good things coming. So there's Chattanooga. You know, I think the hardest part though about staying doing YouTube is, like, a lot of people, I have a really good split among age groups. Like, I have people from, I don't know, is it like 18 to, I don't remember the splits, but I have a good spread, like, through literally every age range that's available to see on YouTube. And I really like that, right? Because even if I don't get many views, if there's a split among like every age group ever, it just means that, like, I don't want to have videos that are made specifically for one age group. I want videos that I make to be watchable by anyone. That has always been the intent. Anyone of any religion, of any belief system, of any identity. That is really important to me, that anyone can come and watch the videos, because the whole point is they're about bikes. I don't care about anything else other than bikes in relation to, you know, to these videos. So that's important to me, that comes across, and that I'm not like gatekeeping from a particular type of person, because that would be unfair. You know, like I've always said, okay, like I've mentioned the religion thing, I'm not religious, but if you are, that's absolutely fine. You know, I would probably raise some questions if you use your religion as a shield while you hate people. You know, well, it's my religion and that's why I hate this particular group of people. I don't think that's cool. I don't hate anyone. Well, there's like 2 people I hate in the world, but they earned it. But you know, that's important as well, to say that, you know, if you are religious, that's fine, absolutely fine. Everyone has their own thing. There's nothing wrong with that. I wonder, is that a dead end, or is that like an actual dirt road you're allowed right down? I want to move to the mountains. I want to live over near the mountains so much, but the visa restrains me. What I was getting to is, you know, the only bad thing about having that range is obviously people in their later years, you know, get ill more often, and you know, there's been several people over the years who you know, I've gotten messages from wives or daughters or sons, and you know, I haven't always responded, because it honestly, like, every time it just absolutely crushes me, especially if I've been talking to that person for a few years. It's a weird feeling when you lose someone who you never met, but like, you've exchanged hundreds of messages over, you know, things that is a shared common interest, like bikes and travel, and you know, a bike I used to own, or whatever it might be that attracted them to the channel, general maintenance. It affects me way more than I ever would have guessed it would. It is really it sucks. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And you know, one person who has been watching the channel had been watching the channel for a long time was a gentleman. I don't think he would mind. I don't think you're going to identify him from, but his name is Andy. He felt very ill, and we were still exchanging messages while he was very ill. And then I heard from his wife in that he was, you know, still doing well, but not able to answer emails or whatever, because he had contacted me by email after he fell ill. And I haven't heard from him since, and that's one of the worst things. So, in my hope of hopes, I hope I insulted Andy somehow terribly. And that's why I haven't heard from him. Yeah, that's the hardest part, though, when you just stop hearing from someone who would watch your 2 videos and comment on 2 videos a week for a long time, and then you just don't hear from them anymore. And that's actually really difficult. Again, more difficult than I ever thought it would be, because I don't know, is this person who I considered a friend from afar, are they okay? You know, and I honestly don't know what's worse, is when you do know or when you don't know. I don't think either are good. But yeah, so I think that's a very hard part of YouTube as well. But at the same time, you know, you gotta look on the bright side. You would have never had these friends or whatever, unless you did do YouTube. So is it better to have known them and they pass away, or is it better to have never known them? You know, that's how you have to look at. That's how you have to look at it. Personally, I'm very glad to have known all these people. So yeah, but it's very, it's probably the worst part of YouTube. You know, more so than people being sometimes really unpleasant and whatever else. I think the hardest part has to be that. I think we're nearly there. We're nearly at Sticks and Stones Coffee Roasters. Here comes a Corvette, brother. Oh, not the Corvette. I like when people call Corvettes Corvettes and Chevrolet. Makes me laugh every time. Am I a child? Absolutely. But hey, that's all part of it, you know. You gotta get your fun where you can get your fun. Come on, go. Why did you slow down? I can make it. As I said, I can make it. I'm gonna go into this left lane now. I don't actually know where this is, but I think it's down here. Is it here? I think it's here, mate. I'll find out. Is it this one? It is this one. Weirdly enough about Fuquay, right? My favorite coffee shop here is called Cultivate Coffee Roasters, but on a Sunday they open up at 1 p.m. Is that them? Which I don't personally understand from a coffee perspective. And then this place closes at midday. Famous Toastery. Where the hell is... Well, here's Matt's bike, so we'll park here beside him. Or behind him. It's a lovely bike. If you ask really nicely, maybe one day I'll see will Matt let me take this out for a first ride review. I've actually ridden it before, but for a very short amount of time, so I don't think it counts. But yeah, let me know if you'd like me to do that. But yeah, there's many questions for you to answer. Let me know what you think about all of them. And I'm going to go have some coffee. And then me and Matt are going to go for a spin. So yeah, if you've watched, thank you very much for watching. As always, a very special thank you to all of my patrons. I appreciate all of you very, very much. And yeah, that's it really. Hopefully you're all having a wonderful weekend. If not, I hope it gets better. And that's it. Let me know what you think of everything I said. Adios. Outro crew. What is the worst thing about YouTube for you? Is it that everyone tries to do the, shocked face thumbnails now, or Yeah, what's the worst thing about YouTube for you? Whether you make videos or not, doesn't matter. What's the worst thing? Bye, Outro Crew.